tell everybody what I said about your personality. I just described your behavior. You try to avoid me. You even doesn't mention my name.
Who are you? Who you fought? You don't even doesn't. You think I'm gonna go backwards and fight number 15?
I'm gonna show you.
For the belt.
I'm gonna take this belt and you know it.
Whatever you say, why you disrespect?
Because I won't.
Why you can do? Why you disrespect? What? Come here.
Because I won't. What you can do?
Why? I will show you what I'm gonna do. I will show you.
The recent changes of champions in all weight classes of the world's best league goaded us to talk about a rather hot topic. Get comfortable, because today we will overview the most satisfying downfalls in the UFC in recent history. Have a great time. Number 6. Bo Nickal.
Sean Strickland against Driscus Duplessis.
Prime bow time. Iowa. I'm gonna need 8 mil. It would have wrote the check. And then I would have ripped it and laughed in their face.
Bo Nickal makes this list mostly in a nominal sense. We all understand that when we talk about the downfall, it usually means a clear and somewhat extended decline, at least a few losses in a row for a fighter who has previously been on a winning streak and made a real impression on the MMA community. But what kind of impression did Bo Nickal actually make? Does anyone even remember?
I'm a huge Robert Whittaker fan.
Yeah.
And when I saw him get freaking like the ugliest.
He didn't look like himself.
Dude. It was
That
like,
headlock was awful.
That was
bro.
disgusting.
So seeing that headlock instantly made me realize that I would probably kill those guys.
Exactly. Thanks to his wrestling background, for some reason, this guy had the reputation of an MMA beast, a destroyer who, if just given the chance, would tear through the entire middleweight division. And what did we actually get?
I expect to win this fight. I don't know if it'll be a finish or if it'll be a decision. Regardless of the result, I'm focused on giving 100% effort from the first bell to the last. And really, that's all I can control, right? I can't control my opponent. I can't control anything else. Can't control the crowd. Can't control the ref. All I can control is me. So, the only thing I can go do is come to this opportunity with a lot of gratitude and maximum effort.
That's right, Bo Nickal lost to Ranier Derrida by TKO in a completely lackluster fight. He allowed himself to be taken down, failed to execute his own game plan, and honestly, didn't show much of anything. Now, sure, this wasn't exactly a full-blown downfall, but let's be real, the hype has been thoroughly crushed. No doubt about it.
Knee to the body, crumbles Bo Nickal, undefeated no longer, and say hello to a real contender, Ranier Derrida.
Number 5. UMAR NURMAGOMEDOV. If you want us to make a separate video on how Merab Dvalishvili humbled UMAR, show it with your activity. And now, let's get to the point.
He nervous, of course he nervous, and he maybe he upset with UFC. They pushed him to fight with me, and even before when he was not champion, he don't take this fight. He doesn't want to fight with me, And when he became champion, I think he tried to fight with someone's. Because other guys gonna be easy fight for him, and he can't tell anything to UFC, to Dana, he can't say to show them. He always talking he's company guy, and but they pushed him to fight with me.
UMAR NURMAGOMEDOV is on this list only nominally, and here's why. Look, he is only 29, his record is 18-1. he still has plenty of time for a proper return and successful rise to the top of the division on a second attempt. However, we added him in this video because the fact remains, the Georgian champion knocked him down a peg for showing disrespect. In the lead up to UFC 311 in January, the contender allowed himself to say a lot of stuff. He was calling the machine a coward, said that Merab ducked him and was very confident in himself in the upcoming clash. Though the only top-level opponent he himself fought was Corey Sandhagen, he was bragging like he stopped prime Tony Ferguson on a 12-fight win streak. Sound last name NURMAGOMEDOV, perfect record and public's opinion, all of that convinced young Eagle that his time had come.
I can't imagine how he will beat me. How? He can hold me? Okay. Maybe he will take me down one time, but he have to hold me there. He can't.
However, it wasn't the case. Dvalishvili did not let this cocky upstart touch his belt. Prior to the tournament, he was often aggressive towards the media representatives when they talked about his opponent because he was annoyed by the disrespect from NURMAGOMEDOV. He was losing his cool, and it seemed like Merab was doing that in despair like a cornered animal. But it turned out that it was him who proved his words with actions in the cage. He beat UMAR via unanimous decision and defended his championship, taking away his opponent's zero and putting him in his place.
Now listen, when I take this fight, no excuses, you know what? I said, okay, I will fight, but I was just so mad. He was keep disrespecting me. He was saying, man, I will pull out. He ducking me. I never duck. Every time UFC asked me, I said, okay, I will fight. But I wanted to fight March. Umar was one who don't want to fight March, and that's why I did this one for him. I give them favor, but I keep this one with me.
Number 4. Jamal Hill.
Yeah, pretty much just touch him up, keep touching him, and then see what happens. Like I said, I'm here to break people, and eventually, if I touch you up enough, you're gonna break.
Now, Jamal Hill is a different story. In his time, this guy got way out of his line when he suddenly found himself at the very top of the light heavyweight division. Fame got to his head to such an extent that he couldn't handle that. After a win over Glover Teixeira in the title fight on January 21st of 2023, Sweet Dreams got injured and disappeared from the radars for more than a year. He had to vacate the title and leave the game for some time. During that period, many things changed in the weight class, and the throne was taken by another Brazilian, Alex Pereira, who beat the Czech Samurai in November. Here's Jamal's reaction to this performance.
I thought it ended a little early, but all in all, I was just thinking like neither one of these dudes are on my level. Like neither one of them, I don't think they are in any facet of the game, and I can't wait to get back in full health and be able to show that.
By April of 2024, Hill finally recovered when the UFC gave him an opportunity to retrieve his belt in the fight with Poatan. He, with no shame at all, began shoving down everyone's throat that he would send the Brazilian into the shadow realm.
I've been doing MMA for years. I've been bred in MMA. And whenever I do fight him, standing, I will knock him out.
And what was the outcome? But it's not the funniest thing here. Like, anybody can lose, no big deal. But when Prohaska lost to Alex in the rematch, our Mr. Salty started pondering over which of them two lost to Pereira in a more devastating manner. Besides that, when he crossed paths with Poatan in the gym, he was absolutely uninterested in sparring with him and backed off.
Your last performance, you got dominated. Dominated and knocked out. Completely shut down, completely exposed, right? And then got done bad, bro. You got did bad. I got caught. You got dominated. It's a huge difference.
And when the World's Best League put him against the Czech Samurai, Jamal lost to him in an almost one-sided fashion. Compared to Yuri, he looked like a rookie who got a 1 in a million opportunity to fight the former champion because his initial opponent pulled out shortly prior to the event. And now he is on a streak of 2 stoppage losses.
and things, but ultimately you can't take nothing away from Yuri. He made good adjustments. He obviously was improved in the fight, and he did what he needed to do to win the fight. So you got to give a shout out and tip your hat to him.
Number 3. KAMARU Usman.
I need to see active. I need to see activity.
They can all get it. They need to show me some activity.
Yeah, it's red panty night when you're starting to fight me, yeah? Back at home with your wife.
I have what everybody wants. Yeah. You know, it's green panty night when you fight me.
The next in line is the Nigerian Nightmare. His personality can be split in 2 parts. The first is a furious, vicious, and relentless machine which is confident in its abilities and knows that it deserves fame and recognition for many years of hard work. And the second one is the soul that earned this very recognition and which doesn't draw any attention. Let us know in the comments, and be honest, when KAMARU Usman was the #1 contender and the undisputed champion, was it cringe or not?
This has been in the making for years. This has been in the making for years. Yeah, you a champ, but I asked you that. You know why? Because I'm going to take it out for you one day. I asked you that, and you said, you know one day, guess what? March 2nd will be the day.
In our opinion, it's cringe 100%. Because the Nigerian headlong too deep into his stardom, though he wasn't even that popular, and only the status of a champion of the major promotion kept his name somewhat relevant. But we'll be honest, that lucky head kick from Leon Edwards turned the welterweight division upside down, because the champion was beating Rocky throughout more than 4 rounds and methodically moved towards his win until this happened.
The cloth from which he is cut. I mean, that is a degenerate.
Yeah, I mean, I think I did enough to win the fight, but, you know, I knew it was a close fight. You know, great game plan, great game plan. You know, I've always said it from the start. I knew I would see Leon again, and we did it, and, you know, I'm not done.
On the one hand, the age of the Nigerian Nightmare already tells us that he can't return to the previous positions. He hadn't fought for 1.5 years, and all of this wasted time is not in his favor as he is pushing 40. But on the other hand, maybe he will rise from the ashes like a phoenix after what Volk did. Who knows? We'll see. But either way, the downfall is apparent. Usman has 3 losses in a row, and the stats speak for themselves. And now it's really funny to remember the comments of Ali Abdelaziz about how Canelo avoided KAMARU in his time and that the Nigerian would beat all the top-level light heavyweights.
You know, you drop 2 razor thin ones to Leon, and it's been a while. I mean, you know, you go years without losing for a long time. By all the hard work, and you drop two close ones like that, you start to kind of question things and start to doubt yourself a little bit, and you know, you almost forget what it feels like. But it's, you know, if anything that I could say I take away from tonight, it's that I need to trust myself more, trust my coaches, and we'll be back. I mean,
Number 2. Israel Adesanya.
You know, you ever heard about an anime called Death Note? Anyone? Hands up. Yeah, so he's the Grim Reaper, right? I have a Shinigami with me, and I just had to write his name because I was like, he's not gonna last. I just wrote his name in a Death Note, and those who knows the rules of the Death Note, they know there's a certain time frame that after your name's written in the Death Note, the Shinigami will get you. So yeah, it is what it is, and it happened as it's supposed to be.
Israel Adesanya broke into the UFC in style. When he wasn't even 30, all these talks about anime, dances, his hobbies, and this guy's eccentric mindset drew the public's eyes like a magnet. But it wasn't always in the good light, because he could randomly dye his hair pink, paint his nails, and his name figured in weird stories with his pet. Anyway, you get the idea. But he was a good fighter during his ascension to the title bout. He was alternating TKOs and clean knockouts with unanimous decisions and had a long streak of victories with 0 losses. And for the fight with Gastelum, which was inducted into the Hall of Fame, he deserves respect for life. But it's just that everything changed at one particular moment.
At the end of the day, no one knows who the f he is. And he's gonna be that guy when I'm world champion, when I'm a legend. He's gonna be at some pub, talking some shit about I beat that guy one time, trying to get a dick sucked from a crack whore or some shit.
As soon as the last stylebender conquered the undisputed championship, it's almost like he changed completely. The fans started calling him Run Asanya for his maximally safe and boring fighting style. Throughout Avatar's entire reign, Avatar had only one worthy performance against Paulo Costa, and only because of a TKO, and before it happened, everything was quite typical, just jabs and low kicks from the champion. At the same time, he allowed himself to say inappropriate stuff, and not in terms of trash talk, but in the literal sense.
You know, steel, like kicking steel, or you hit him and he doesn't fall. I'll touch him enough times, and eventually he'll crumble like the Twin Towers.
After clearing out the middleweight division with judges' decisions, Adesanya got face to face with his nightmare called vengeance. Alex Pereira made a raid into the UFC from his favela and forced Israel to answer for the words he said about him. He was the one to dethrone him. He brought back the greatness and interest in the division and made a lot of noise with his rise and consequent transition to another weight class.
What's the emotion? I'm grateful. Oh, thanks, David. I'm grateful. What a life. What a moment. Fucking crazy, isn't it? Like, similar to the last time. Same story. It's crazy. But, yeah. I was fine. First thing I said to you, Joe, the ref, I was fine because I was still lucid. I was in there, but, yeah, shit happens.
And then followed the fastest downfall possible. At first, Avatar lost to Sean Strickland in one-sided fashion, which couldn't help but affect his mental state. Then, after his return, he was submitted by DDP, and in February of 2025, he was folded in half by a TKO from Nasruddin Imamov in the second round. My bro wanted to push the referee away like Poatan did in his time, but it led to an absolutely opposite result.
Pause. I had a different plan for this. I will leave you in the capable hands of a man who is much smarter than me. I'll admit this on worldwide, national media. I'll leave it with Eugene Behrman. He'll handle this for the first time. I want to go chill, have some breakfast, build my family, and yeah, till next time.
Yeah, it sucks to lose. But at the same time, I'm happy for me and my team. Like, Kai got a great stoppage. Dan entertained the fucking fans with a psychotic fucking mindset. That was fun to watch. And yeah, I felt just not my night tonight. The better man won tonight. Disappointed, yeah, I hate, disappointing my fans, my team. My team feel proud of me because of the work I put into this. But yeah, it's just the thrill and agony.
Number 1. Leon Edwards.
I truly believe I am number one in the world, I've been saying it for a long time, and I know when I was younger, people were like, nah, you're not, blah, blah, you won't make it to the top 10 in the UFC, and I've heard all this my whole career, but I really believe I'm number one. I truly believe it, and I keep proving time and time again, I know they don't want to keep doubting me and don't want to give me the respect of it, but what more can I do, I'm long as I go out there and win, that's all I can do, and that's all I'm focused on, go out there, compete, win, and let the world decide,
As you remember, today we already mentioned Leon Edwards when we talked about KAMARU Usman, as he effectively ended his successful career in the status of a champion. But his own successful run hasn't even started. What do we mean by that? You most likely know what we are talking about. The UFC matchmakers have been dismissing the Jamaican for many years, though he was on a win streak and on paper, he looked like the only legitimate contender for the championship. Why? Because he was uninteresting. Absolutely. Even Ferguson, with his 12 losses in a row, is in more demand and more appealing to the public than Rocky. The only one who praised him was Ariel Helwani.
I feel like I've been his advocate, fighting the good fight on behalf of Leon Rocky Edwards, because he doesn't get the respect that he deserves, because he doesn't get the love that he deserves, that he doesn't get the attention that he deserves, that he doesn't get the opportunities that he deserves.
And it might be correct in terms of sport, but think about it yourself. If we don't account for the high kick knockout against USMAN in August of 2022, the last time Edwards won by stoppage was in March of 2018. In October of 2016, he secured a submission win, and in April of 2015, he knocked out Seth Paczynski, and that's basically it. Other fights of Leon Edwards consistently went to a decision with 0 performance of the night bonuses. So you understand that it was a boring spectacle which simply existed on the card and perceived as a given. And on top of all the above, the fighter did not really stand out among others. One might even call him the main representative of grey mass. So when he lost to Belal Muhammad, nobody was really surprised. The only moment of triumph in his entire career in the sport is encapsulated in the headshot dead hashtag, and his glory was quite short-lived.
I'm not surprised that my body just felt tired, you know, from round one. All week I've been feeling I'm just tired from the timing, but like I said, congrats to Belal, you got the job done and we'll get it back again.
It was easy, right? 'Cause I feel like I was always the underdog, so I always felt like I was already there mentally. You know what I mean? I feel like for me, it's been a long time since I've lost. So it was almost 10 years. You know what I mean? So it took me a while to like let it sit in, let it soak in. Let it think, oh, you need to regroup and go again. You know what I mean? And I feel like I needed that time away from the sport to make it sink into my soul and regain what I feel like I needed to regain, and yeah, ready to go again. You know, I'm excited to be back and excited to perform.
One would think like a fighter at his peak, though he is not very articulate and capable in terms of trash talk, jokes and all that stuff, but he still leaves his all in the gym, he would definitely be able to become better and get back to his rightful place. Not by a long shot. Eventually, he was dismantled to pieces by Sean Brady on March 22nd in the main event of Fight Night in London. And not just dismantled, but straight up crushed in every department and finished, for the first time in Rocky's career.
And what did you mean by he was salty afterward? Like, did he not shake your hand?
Yeah,
or?
like I was just saying, like, yo, you're the man, like whatever. And he was just obviously he's upset, but like I try to be cool. Like even during the week we did a face off. He was super weird, wouldn't look at me. This is business. Like I don't hate anybody who does this, but yeah, clearly other people feel the same way about him. I've heard some other stuff, so yeah, he was just super salty.
After such huge setbacks and given the presence of a young blood in the face of Ian Gary, Carlos Prates, DDM and Shavkat, Leon Edwards has little to no chances to get back in the title picture. The UFC gave him an opportunity to become a star, and he had all the potential, including a big fan base from the United Kingdom, but our hero simply wasn't born to be the face of mixed martial arts. Simple as that. Just a year ago, everybody talked about how tough and skillful Leon was as a fighter, that he would be the one to stop Islam Makhachev, and in the end, he got butchered by Belal Muhammad and Sean Brady. This MMA sport is vicious, no matter what anyone says. Leave your opinion in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the new videos, and of course, hit the like button if you enjoyed this one. See you soon.